The UK MMA scene has grown massively in recent years. With world-class fighters and gyms right across the country, I want to get a sense of how the sport is changing here, what impact the UK is having in the UFC, and what the future holds. I've come here to meet a legend of the game in this country, Brad Pickett. Brad had a hugely successful career as a fighter, and now as a coach, he's bringing through the next generation of talent here in his hometown.
GB Top Team, what an amazing place this is. Is this where you grew up?
No, actually, I grew up in the East End of London, but I moved down here in South London. I was travelling all the time, going up north of the team, and I felt I needed something on my doorstep, so I thought I'd create something like this, like a hub here where you don't need to travel as much now. Here you have world-class coaching, you have world-class training partners and world-class facilities.
It's different for these kids now because they know MMA as a sport from when they very first start.
It wasn't a sport. When we were doing it, now it's really good shows, really good gyms. If you're a young, inspiring athlete, it's a legitimate career path.
How does it make you feel when these young fighters come in and they've been inspired by you? Like Nathaniel, for example.
For me, it's always about setting standards, that other people would then copy. I worked hard, I trained hard, and that's what I try and drum into my students as well. My job is to make sure these guys stay on that sort of path and set good role models for other inspiring athletes. Very nice scramble. It's going to be a scramble here. Nice, good stuff.
First got into it when I was 15 or 16. I just literally left school, and I said to my dad I didn't want to be a builder. At that time, it's like, what sport can you get into at the age of 16 and make a career out of? I was watching the UFC at the time. I was watching the likes of Brad Pickett. Let's get into this. I'm going to make this a career. And so, yeah, for the first few years, it was just, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing. I had no wrestling at that time.
And when did Brad come into the picture?
Brad came in probably about 6 years in. I met him just through a teammate, and then I was lucky enough Brad moved 5 minutes from my house. So I was absolutely buzzing, because who better than, Brad Pickett? I think at the time he was ranked 5th in the world in the UFC, got on like a house on fire, and yeah, here we are now.
Yeah, and you remember watching his fights before you met him. What was the memory that stuck out with Brad?
His walkouts. Coming out, with the braces, the newspaper. Yeah, I always remember him from that. And just being aggressive. You knew that he was always going to be an exciting fight, whether he win, lose, draw, it was always going to be a bang.
Claire, that was a pretty intense sparring session.
Yeah, once a week I have a tough sparring. And it's good because I'm in training camp, so I need to be in this intensity. So yeah, it was good.
Your last event was you fought 3 times in the same night.
Yeah, it was 1 year ago. So it was a tournament in Miami, 3 fights, and I lost in the final. But the winner is now in the UFC, so it's for me it's it was a big experience, good experience.
Nice. And why did you find yourself at GB Top Team?
So I started MMA 5 years ago in Paris, and after 2 years I went to Las Vegas for a training camp, and I said yes. Big difference between France and USA. So I went in England and I met Brad, and then we started training together 3 years ago now.
I noticed there's a lot of female fighters here.
Yeah, there's a lot of female fighters, so in my weight, so it's very good for me. A lot of lightweight men, so for me it's really good. They are better, they are stronger, but we do good training together, yeah.
So Mark, you've been here for a couple of training camps now, right?
Yeah, this is my second camp here. I did my last fight here, and this is my second one. To have this in UK is a blessing. To me, it's like a buffet, all you can eat. Like I'm here, I'm here literally all day.
And what's it like having Brad around you? What's it like having him in your corner and...
He's a child. No, Brad's great, like I said. I came here because May was a Brad as well, because obviously we trained at ATT. So the more I came here, we worked with him and realized maybe this is the right guy.
What's the buzz around London right now, and UK overall, really, for MMA?
Back in the day, we just say, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. I feel like UK is up there. Not just in London, like Manchester, Liverpool, we've got a lot of them up and coming. So I feel right now UK is up there with the best.
I think the UK MMA scene now is on an all-time high. I can see the amateurs now that are training like pros who are giving myself hard time, and you think, this kid's 18 years old. Obviously we had Bisping who won the UFC title, but I think we're going to have a lot more now coming up.
Think back to those early days then. Tell me about some of those rewarding moments, like the crowd always on your side, the reaction that you would get at the weigh-ins, retiring in London.
My last fight, most people when they retire is like through injury or they get sacked. Leaving my hat in the cage and stuff like that was good, you know, like I'm very proud of what I done within the sport, and also I'm proud of how I left the sport as well.
And this feels like a new chapter. You know, you're walking out behind these guys and they're having their careers.
Like I always said, I'm a very competitive person, so for me, now I still compete, but through my athletes, I want to have one of the best teams in the country. I think I've already achieved that, and I just want my team to do really well. Free GB! Top team! Good stuff, people.
Spending time with Brad and the team at GB Top Team, I can see why fighters are coming here from all around the country and around the world. The passion and knowledge that they have for the sport is incredible, and what I've seen here leaves me with no doubt that there are great things coming out of London.